Went up to Mount White near Gosford there and visited my mate John Singo. We sat and had a few beers. And one of the things I really love about Singo, he is as he appears. Very, very funny.
Loose.
He is the absolutely epitome of the old Aussie larrikin. That's exactly what he's like. And he tells these stories. He just, in his life, he sort of just stumbles into these amazing situations. And he was telling one yesterday. He goes, I said, mate, what have you been up to? He said, mate, I've just flown back. I was in Dallas, Texas. And he said, you might know this bloke. He said, I didn't know. He said, I was sitting at the first class lounge. Like, yep.
Of course you are.
So he's sitting there and he said, all of a sudden this big bloke walks in with a few people around him, big, strong bloke. And he goes, he's obviously a boxer. So he said, we're the only guys in the first class lounge. And he said, I'm sort of looking at him and he sees me looking. So he just sort of death stares me.
Oh, no.
And it becomes this stare off. And he said, at that point, one of his guys went up to the person at the first class lounge and said, can you remove this guy?
They had no idea who he was, I'm guessing.
They had no idea who Singo was. So they said, can you remove him? And they said, no, he's first class passenger. We're not.
That's his right to be in there.
We're not going to remove him at all. So he said, we get on the plane. He said, we're the only two guys in first class. And he said, so I decided, right, I'm going to bury the hatchet. So he said, I walked up. He said, I had a drink. And I said, yeah, mate, I got you a drink. And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. And he said, you been to Australia before? And this guy was like, yeah, I have, yeah. And he's like, And he said, we start chatting away. And he said, he turns out he's quite a good bloke. And he said, what are you doing? Singo? I said, I used to be in advertising and, a bit of media in Australia and blah, blah. He said, what do you do? He said, I'm a singer. I'm going out to Sydney to do a bit of singing. I love my music. And he said, what kind of music do you like? Singo. I said, anything but rap. He said, I don't get rap. He said, he goes,
oh, no. No.
He goes, I hate it. He goes, I hate it. It's no good. And he said, anyway, mate, where are you singing at?
Oh, dear.
And he has a bit of a look and he goes, it's a strange sort of place in Sydney. Parramatta, I'm doing a gig at Parramatta. He goes, Parramatta, you mustn't be very good. He goes, anyone who's worth their salt plays like the Horden Pavilion. Yeah. And he's going, okay, So he said, mate, I sat down with him. He said, mate, we chat all the way there. I'm drinking all the way and having a good time. He says he's a really good bloke. And we're sitting there and he goes, I'm just trying to remember his name. And he's yelling out to his daughter, Sally, who's it? And he goes, anyway, he's gave me his card. Do you know this bloke put it down as 50 cents? And he said, I got a text yesterday from his people, sent me a text and said, make sure you come to the gig. I said to Singo, you have to go.
You have to go.
You have to go to the gig.
Yeah, and he has to take you. That'd be good. You and Singo, it's 50 cents.
I want to see Singo with his Singo with lowrider jeans on.